Okay, what I want to do now is I want to demonstrate an extremely useful program for converting file formats, so that is video file formats. So oftentimes cameras may have a proprietary format that they work with or a preferred format that they work with, or maybe you just didn't realize that you needed to adjust the settings, and maybe the file that it produced was a QuickTime format file, .mov, or maybe it was a WMV file, a Windows Media Video format file. Both those formats, while they have some uses, tend not to play well with others when it comes to displaying in various types of applications. That is, they're not broad platform files. And so to convert them over to a format that's much more common in use, which is the MP4 file format, I use a program called Handbrake, and that's right here. So I'll call up Handbrake. And when Handbrake opens, when you're ready, when you know what file you have that you want to convert, you go to the source up here, and then you select video file. You click on that, and then it will call up a folder. The default is usually the My Videos folder if you're on a Windows machine. I'm not certain what it would be if you're on an Apple machine. But once you have your folder pulled up, you just navigate to the one that you want. And so the video I showed earlier was a Cam Studio demo, and it was in AVI format originally, but Cam Studio saves out default as AVI. AVI is a bit more friendly in terms of playability than WMV, but it still does not play well with others on some platforms. So I simply select that, and I want to convert it over to MP4. Hit open. Handbrake will process the file briefly, and then I've already selected an MP4 file format. I'm not picking out large file size or web optimize or anything like that. I'm just going to leave it alone. But I do want to give it a name and put it in a specific location. So in the destination area, I'm going to click on Browse, and I'm going to go through and first of all, I'm just going to call it Cam Studio Demo, and then it's MP4 format, and I'm going to put it right back in the folder where it came from, which is this Cam Studio output folder. And then I'll simply say save. It sets that up, and now I just go up to start, and once I hit start, it'll begin processing the video. Okay, so I hit start, and it's begun encoding, and so it's converting over that AVI file format to MP4 format, and this video would then be ready for playing on something like YouTube. And you could just directly upload it, or you could directly upload it to Facebook. Okay, while that's running, let's tell you a little bit more about Handbrake. So there's some really obvious options right here on the main screen. So you can do multiple videos. You can actually, if you go up to source here, you can select an entire folder of videos and convert them all. So you can do batch conversions. Down here, you can crop the video. Okay, you can adjust the size of the source. You can tell it to keep or adjust the size of your output. You can tell it to keep the aspect ratio so that the length and width remain the same proportions, but the overall video is different in size, and so on. And then there are a lot more of these specific things that you can do. Okay, it's finished encoding, so now I can go ahead and show you some of these other things. So you can go into video filters and you can play around with those. If you go into just the video tab, you can change the codec that you're using. You can change the frame rate. You could adjust the quality and the bit rate and these sorts of things. And these will all have effects on the size of your video, the graininess of the image. Sometimes the playing around with these too much can make a video choppy and cumbersome. Over here you can go in and you can adjust the audio. You can actually add tracks to your video, so if you want to have a music track behind it or something, you can add that in. They have a subtitle menu, so you could potentially add subtitles. These are not, if you do so, these are not going to be synced with the video itself. It would just be a file that's the same length, basically. But if you're careful and you plan it out, you could potentially do captioning this way on your videos. So chapter, so you can create markers and things like that and split your video up into chapters. And then the advanced menu allows you to manipulate all sorts of very specific variables in the video. Okay, so Handbrake's a very powerful program, and it is free. It's one of those rare programs where you get a lot more than what you pay for. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close out Handbrake, and then I'll close out Cam Studio here and end this.